t'as beaucoup dessiné, non?
Mhm.
Parce que si t'as fait ça jusque quand tu viens de dessiner, tu vas très vite. Moi, je vais mettre un t-shirt.
Ouais, t'as simplement pris un de ceux qui faisait des vins de pierre là.
Ben, je l'ai transformé en gnome et j'ai mis un bolas et etc. etc.
Ah, bonjour, au revoir, tous ceux qui regardent le redit.
Au revoir et good night pour ceux que c'est bientôt la nuit. Everybody, pour ceux qui sont anglais.
Hey boy, how you doing? Tonight I'm drawing one of your kind. A gnome. I realized they didn't draw any gnome yet on those cards. And I think this kind of weapon suit them very well. Easter was okay, full of chocolate. I think I gained 1 kilo again. Story of my life. Yeah. As long as it's not the you know. I don't know in Prague, but in France we had some surprise Kinder that has bad stuff in there. They ask for those who buy this batch to, you know, bring them back to the shop, and it's not good publicity for Kinder, but we'll see. Them looks really good, this necklace especially. What's a cog? What, I don't know that word. What's a cog? Like that, this little piece of, I mean, it suit them as well, because you know gnomes are well known to build stuff. So yeah. At least in our franchise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So you call that a cog? I didn't know that. Bunch of them helps each other to turn into roti. Yeah, all right, all right. That's what it is. I just didn't know that word. That's actually the symbol I use for the technology alignment. Funny because I did draw that guy, and straight at the beginning, it looks like an old fellow. And I was like, I didn't want to draw an old guy. And then I was, you know, so I darkened his hair, and it was still looking like an old fellow. And I'm like, oh crap. And I'm just, you know, starting to add those little hair there. And when I arrived there, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do like a little bit more there because it's not completely gone. And as soon as I put those hair here, it didn't look like an old guy anymore. I'm like, okay, that's, you know, you don't need that much to look young again. turned on the stream, I was trying to understand if it's an old guy or a gnome. The nose is fitting for a gnome. I think the mouth is a... and the thing give an old man feeling. I found the first edition of the Asterix comic book here in Prague. Asterix the Goal. Oh, just order it. Oh, that's... yeah, I mean, you... oh, you, yeah? You go for it. Okay, cool. Just remember, I think we said that we want to have that that Asterix and Obelix feeling at the beginning, and then try to drift from it. But yeah, it's nice to have some reference to be able to have some Easter egg here and there. A good exercise for me to learn the comic book way of writing. Yeah, it will be a good study material. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there is so many way of telling a story with a comic book and showing that story. I know that I don't want to be, visually, I don't want to be too traditional about it. There's no way I'm gonna do some Tintin squares, and I want like strange looking squares that with really dynamic stuff when it's action and stuff getting out of the squares, and as long as you can read it well, because what I want is really each page, it's almost like a piece of art by itself. It's very interesting looking page, even without reading the story. And if we can add on top of that a good story, that would be great. Hey, good evening, team. And I guess the only difference between a novel and a comic book is that in the comic book there is more dialogue, and less like of voice telling stuff, because I guess I have a lot of different I know different way of having a page of dialogue between two guys without being too boring, because we can do so many different view and stuff while they are talking together, and we don't want to have too big bubble either, because it's could be very boring to read. But yeah, I'm starting to be very excited about starting that project, starting to develop those characters. I was visiting, I don't know if I told you that already because it was last weekend, and I visit a very old village we have in Brittany that have been given to the how can I say that, like the mayor of this area, and so they kept that. What project we are talking about? Me and Emery are gonna work on a comic book, and this village is very old, and so they remade it as if if we are in 1890. So it's 1890 age. We know all everything that is inside the houses, the blacksmith, the school, the house where they are, making clothes, just houses as well, and how, and there is a lot of people dressed up and doing animation, showing you how to make butter, and I mean it was a pretty nice day, a lot of pictures, and this little village just made me realize something I knew already, but when we are in there, you're like, all right, so our Oak village needs like a river, it needs, a house for the chief, you need a house for the, like every house gonna be, for a very good purpose, and then I realized before even starting to draw those pages, we need to have a plan. You need to have a map of that village. So yeah, we can when our heroes goes to from A to F, we need to know which house is where. So there's no like bad like images that doesn't go very well together. And so I guess we're gonna have to design all those stuff, the village, how those orcs are living, what's going on, even before starting to draw. And I'm like, oh come on, this is a lot of stuff to think about even before starting the story. We're gonna, but I think it's gonna take some time, because I can only draw when I'm done with what I need to do for Master Warriors, and Emery have some work to do for Master Warriors as well. So we are, and I guess he will have personal project as well. So, but it's gonna take some time, but we're gonna have fun with that, and the great thing is that we don't have any limit of what we can do. I'm gonna talk about it with Sebastian next Saturday, because we're supposed to see each other next Saturday. It's been a while that we didn't. He's not really answering my question, as it's like it's been like 9 days that I ask him stuff on Discord and he doesn't reply. So I'm like starting to get annoyed, but need to be patient. Some of my old stuff. Until next time. All right, Tim. It was a quick hi, and see you next time. Yeah, I had a rough day, and I was really pissed when I started this stream. And just having you there talking about this project just lifts my spirit a little bit. So thank you for that. So I talk about it a little bit with somebody I have in my workshop. A guy that draw. He come to my workshop to draw with me. So he's learning in the same time that he's doing his stuff. But he's staying his comic book, and I always say, I can't teach you comic book because I don't draw comic books. And now I'm telling him that I'm gonna I'm gonna start one, and there's a lot of stuff because every little square gonna have to be like what I'm doing here. Like everyone have to be perfect looking, faces and expression, and what we want to tell in that image. So it's really gonna be like side by side project. Me drawing, you writing, and you giving maybe some direction on the what you see for this square, and me giving some direction what I see on that story. It's really gonna be like a fun stuff to do, and those weekly phone call, video call is gonna be very precious for that. My day was shitty as well, and now I have to translate 5,000 word text overnight. The sooner I start, the sooner I eat, and yeah. So yeah, go, go. Yeah, so I'm very curious about how old those guys are. What the day of those guys? So because yeah, like I said, so I visit that village, and then so I realize every day, for those guys in 1890, every day they have a job to do. These guys go for this, and this day we do that, and that day we do that, and what they eat and what they do, the kids, ox kids, are they going to school, or how they learn stuff? I mean, this is a lot of stuff. I'm like, wow, it's gonna be like, what do we eat, who's making the food? It's very true, actually. Denise had a feeling that you could use a company. She just stood for a second on the couch, and I believe I felt it. All right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And the backgrounds. What is fun as well is that we're gonna have a very interesting front story with visual of about we're gonna have a story. But beside that, while we are telling the story, we're gonna see, it's gonna be like a ox codex. We're gonna see how an ox village works in Master Warriors franchise. And the fun stuff is that we don't really need reference for other franchise, because I think the best part of it will be to have our own stuff. And we know already that village is going to be special because it's going to be one of those orcs village that, try to live in peace and don't really, like crazy about war. As long as you don't, ask them to fuck the way up, and, as long as they are, in peace, they don't gonna bother you too much. And I was thinking something that could be very interesting for future adventures is putting that village up north, northeast, right before, right on the edge of the forest where you have the fauve over there. So we have this village right against the forest, so they can use the forest. In front of them, they have the Archaea that, they try to kick them out from time to time before, get smashed. And in the back, they have the forest where they can find a lot of crazy, fun to draw creatures that are, from this part of Iridium. And I think it could, it could make some nice adventure over there. Having orcs fighting like harpies and stuff like that. But I'm the same way. That is how I like to write or think. Every single detail needs to complement each other. So for me, it will be fun. Exactly. Why and how they develop their tools and even their language, their knowledge with their surrounding. Yeah, talking about language, because of course we're going to say straight away to the readers that for some, understanding purpose, we're gonna translate what they say in French or English. But I guess we're gonna have to find the tone, something. It's not really like you're gonna, talk smart. Even if that's another idea that I find funny. In Asterix we have the bard, and I can't really picture a bard in an orc village. But I was thinking, maybe we can have like a very clever orc. An orc that it's way too clever for an orc, and this guy is like pushing. It's like the bard in Asterix. Is not very. They don't take him very seriously because they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's always the clever one, and always for us, say the clever thing, that we're supposed to do, and all the other orcs like, fuck off, you're weirdo. that I think that could ended up in very funny situation. And this one I have a house like as far as possible as the other ones. Yeah, I mean that I think for them is very stupid. Yeah, and for us, readers, we know that is the one that always come up with clever solution when the orcs don't take it seriously. It's like in Smurf. You have the one with the glasses, the Schtroumpf à lunettes. You know, every other Smurf don't really like him because it's always, come up with clever plan, and so I don't think we can put him some glasses on his face because I don't picture glasses. But yeah, I guess we will have to find something that really make him look like the smartest of the group. That the big challenge for me will have to be that if we have let's say, I don't know, 20 different orcs on that village, it might be even more, I don't know yet. All those guys, maybe not all of them, because we won't see all of them in one story, but bit by bit we will introduce new people from that village, new villagers. But all those guys will have to have a distinct look with a distinctive face, that if I take one, that this one is the blacksmith, and this one, is the one who, I don't know, making the bread, and this one is the chief of the village. So that's gonna be, something I never did, and it's gonna be challenging. And it enables a lot of creative story and event. Yeah, his clothing could be more well-mannered and tidy compared to the other orcs. That can be a distinctive factor. Yeah, even glasses could work, make out of animal bones or yeah, I mean the frame of the glasses can be done, but how do you manage the glass, How do you manage to correct vision, with what they have back in the day? I mean, the thing that we have to not forget is that orcs are not supposed to work with technology. They're supposed to work with magic. They have a magic alignment. So as soon as magic is involved, I guess stuff can be created by magic. Oh yeah, I see. Oh yeah, so we can say, what is this looking stupid looking thing on your face? Oh yeah, we had them to look smart and cool because he knows that how human dressed up. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I see. It's even more funny. And what what could be funny as well is that every time there is a parlay, pour parler, that like somebody from the arcane wants to talk with somebody from this village, they send him, and he think that they send him because he's the clever one. He knows how to talk and blah blah blah. And what, but in fact, they just hand him because they don't really like him at all. So is there is a problem? It's okay. Like you say, just that's what we have to try, because we already have a lot of material with just that character, and we have to find that with every each every character have to bring something on that village that can be bring a lot of different stuff. This guy is gonna bring the comic relief. This guy is gonna bring something that we want to talk about. The shaman is gonna be like, I guess, the politic aspect of it, or the religious aspect of the village, and the chief is gonna. I mean, yeah, every people on every orcs on that village needs to represent something that we want to talk about, or we want to play with. How many heroes they have? Like, I guess they have only two heroes, those two brothers. All the others are just, villagers. Yeah, yeah. And we know when you will know a little bit more about the time frame of Iridium, because I guess you still didn't receive anything from Sebastian. When we know a little bit more, I guess we need to choose as well which uh, hair, which age, we want to have our story. Is it first age, second age, third age? Because I think third age is the age of wars. That's where everybody's starting to fight each other. And I was thinking maybe it will be easier to choose an age where there is peace, so we can create adventure, because our heroes don't really know what to do and they are looking for stuff, and that can be as simple as they need to bring ingredient for the shaman, and they ended up starting to have like interaction with some creature, and starting from there, whatever. But I guess if it's war, the scope is maybe too big for little stories. I don't know, just something we need to decide, or you need to decide. or we need to decide. Yeah. Oh yeah. He hasn't sent me anything yet. He hasn't commented on my latest story either, the Orc Shaman one. I'm sure he's quite occupied, and on my side I have a show respect to it. Since this is his project, I don't know how he wants to move it forward. I don't really know what to think anymore, because I'm his partner on his project, and even I didn't have any response of my question. So we used to do like every week meeting to talk about the game, and then those meetings have been cancelled because he's too busy to do something else, and he wants to take that time to work on the rule book and everything. But what bothers me is that every week he's telling me the same stuff. Don't worry, I'm gonna send this to Emery, and I'm gonna do this, and every week he's telling me the same thing. So I'm just starting to be concerned that he's very busy. Yes, he's working. He's working, and but he's starting new project with new people as well. So I'm concerned that it's never gonna end. It's always gonna have something else to do. And the other day, I had a bad day and write him an email about my concern, and regret it as soon as it was sent. But I mean, it's doesn't change the fact that it's something that just turn around and around in my head, because I'm bringing that energy of creating a good project, and people wants to be involved, but everybody is stuck with waiting after Sebastian, which is okay because he's busy, but I wish stuff can go a little bit faster, by just at least once a week reading the stuff we send him and him to reply. Once a week seems to be something that is reasonable, but I'm not in Sebastian's head, so I can't really. It will be focusing on improving my writing skill and doing some research for the comic book or other potential project that we might start. I know what you mean. You're right with your concern. The thing I'm like saying to myself now, because we have this new project, I'm like in my, you know what? Fuck it. He wants to take his time. Let's let him take his time. I'm gonna work with what I've been paid to work, and as soon as I'm done with that, I'm just put that aside, and we're gonna work on our project, because we both want to have this. We both will be free. You'll be free to write. I'm free to draw. So I think it could go a little bit faster, even though it's gonna be a lot of work. Writing wise and drawing wise, but at least every week we can talk about our ideas and how this project can involve, and that pulls some fuel in my spirit, because at least I know one project's gonna go forward, and I will have somebody that I can talk with about that project. So but tell me when you receive something, at least we can discuss about it. because I can't wait to see what we're gonna bring, what you're gonna write about this stuff. You know, how you gonna tell the player or everything they need to know. Because, you know, a librarian from Arcania, like Corsia wanted to do, seemed to be, you know, the first obvious choice to talk about, you know, history. But having, you know, your gnome, you know, telling the story as well could be something interesting, I guess. I feel like, you know, seemed to be a good fellow and seemed to know a lot of stuff, and he seemed to like to read. So I won't be surprised that, you know, he find, you know, nice books that reveal what happened in the past, and telling us, you know, how he sees the world. Because he liked to travel, this little guy. He liked to go, you know, a little bit everywhere. So I guess, you know, he sees stuff, he knows stuff, he understands, you know, how, you know, politics and everything. And I feel like it could be a nice guy to tell us the story.
That's very true. We can even start on a sister project on how on which at some point later collide with Maîtres Guerriers world with creative thinking, and which do so possibility are endless, and even in the future a person from our realm world could be telling the story of Iridium.
Yes, of course. Yeah. We don't want to, you know, to be stuck with. You don't want. I don't think you want to, you know, feel like you're stuck with us. Because you know, as soon as you're starting to feel more at ease of writing stuff, it will be a nice, a logical evolution to starting to write your own stuff. So it's good to know that, you know, you're not gonna be, you know, contracted by by the law that, you know, you're just gonna write for Mr. Wires and nothing else. you need to know that you're free to leave the project and put it aside while somebody else is writing the stuff we need. Okay, so
Need to see those close.
alright, this needs to be a little bit darker. Maybe I'm gonna put some stuff in there so it looks a little bit special, like, I don't know what, some piece. That could be it.
Oh, never. I'm very thankful to you and Sebastian for the opportunity you guys have given me. with Maîtres Guerriers, I started to try writing and find out I very much enjoy it.
Yeah, I know, but you know, it's nice that Master Warriors is the sparkle, but it's it's a normal thing that, you know, as soon as you feel like you're ready, it's that you start your own stuff as well. And if your own stuff, because at the beginning, I guess it's gonna be just a side project, like we're gonna do with this comic book. But imagine, you know, you find an editor and it's, you know, it hit hard and you're getting success. So you need, you know, you need your time to write more, and just know that, you know, me and Sebastian we never will, you know, stuck people with us. You know, it needs to be a free space where people come and go as they want. You need to be there because you want it and you enjoy it. As soon as, you know, it change or the situation change, you know, you can, or maybe that will be how comic books is gonna hit, and we'll still work together on that. So the way I'm gonna present that to Sebastian, so we need to be on the same page, is that it's gonna be our project. It's gonna be about a village that don't really, you know, fuck up the story of the franchise. So we don't really need improvement or anything. So that's a project that it doesn't really need to care about and just, you know, think about. And of course, as soon as this thing is available for you know, purchase, Master Warriors will have this, you know, a commission on it, because it's Master Warriors franchise after all. Oui, Tabix, salut l'ami, salut. On est justement en train de parler avec Emery de la bande dessinée qu'on va préparer. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I'm gonna, you know, tell him about it, I guess, you know, because that's what I'm gonna say, you know, if you're not feeling at ease with that, you know, that you feel that we just try to take advantage of the franchise, which I find a little bit silly, but we can create our own franchise. But this is silly because, you know, it will be a great advantage to have, you know, a story told in the franchise so we can explain how it works and blah blah blah. But I don't think it will be a problem. That I'm not sure, but I don't think so. Ok, alright, donc c'est un petit peu mieux avec les petites coutures là. Oui, parce que je sais pas si je te l'avais déjà dit, mais c'est Emery qui va écrire la BD, la future BD. Et on a déjà plein d'idées super cool. C'est toi qui m'as mis dedans, il me semble. Donc, c'est toi qui m'as donné l'idée. En tout cas, l'idée d'en faire une.
Very true, but if he says he doesn't want it, it is okay. You're the boss. Tell me to start creating a world and I will start to write away.
Hey, Drovana! How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, that's the thing. Because the great thing about Iridium is that it's really a playground for everybody. So that's why I'm very surprised if you say no, because that's the whole purpose of that franchise is for you to, be creative. And what can be more creative than writing story about it? But I know as well that he says, we have time for that. But, if we want to choose our free time on it, I don't see the problem. If I'm done with, if he's done with me for this year, and I'm already drew everything he asked me to draw, I can do what I want with my free time. So are you? So like we said, this comic book will be free online. That's what we say, isn't it? There's no question about just keeping that for us and just making an album for purchase. It's really something that we want to write, like a story. That what I don't really know. Is it gonna be like short little stories, or is it gonna be like a big story telling multiple little, like 1 or 2 page each time? Because it's gonna be tricky to tell the same story and cut it. Like, what's the next? So I guess if we do that, writing wise, you need to write stuff that if we say okay, it's 2 page or 3 page every time there is an issue on the webzine, it needs to kind of not ending, but it needs to have at least something that we're waiting for the next one. So I guess that's a way of writing as well. Because we don't have, and that's why it's scary a little bit, because we don't have the freedom of putting any number of square we want. But in the same time, we want to stay free of saying, maybe this issue will be like 4 pages and this issue will be on, I don't think we need to restrain ourselves with, number of pages. I guess it's gonna be more about chapter, for example. We can introduce chapters like in novels on the comic book. Chapter 1, the village.
Where's the music? Where is the music? Alright, the music is there.
Yeah, because I need to know, what I'm gonna say to Sebastian. Am I gonna say him that this webzine is gonna be free, and as soon as we have enough, we can do an hard copy of every single chapter, and then we can talk business. But as long as it's free, I guess we can do whatever we want. It's just gonna be a bonus. But that's not for 2023 or even 2024. I don't think so. If we already if we can already start to have pages being drew 2023, I guess it will be already a good thing. But the thing is, everything. What I like about that project is that every single step is going to be fun. Not only drawing the pages, but just developing the project is going to be even more fun. So it's not really the end result that is, we are looking for. It's more like the voyage, the travel to get there. What I think will be more logical is that at least on the first edition, it should introduce the character and tell a short, medium length story to give a good preview for upcoming stories. It will be better for us and the audience to make it free for a while. Yeah, I think that's what I think. It's a nice way to introduce, like we're going to do for the war game. If the war game is free, people are going to try it, and if they like it, they will ask for more. And I guess that's what we're going to do for the comic book. We're gonna, the first issues are going to be free, so people can read it freely. And if they really like it, they leave comments and how they love it. And if it's starting to get serious, maybe we can consider make the next ones for an hard copy. We'll see, because the idea is not to get money there. It's more about having a fun project together, and that can with the right energy. If we put the right energy in there, we're gonna have some fun. If you put everything that you want to put on that story, and I put everything I want to put on that stories, on those visuals, man, we're gonna end up with a fucking interesting comic book, I think. Yeah. And we can even do like we say, a crowdfunding or a Kickstarter or something to produce the an hard copy, so we don't have to put our own money in there, and then send away those copies. Yeah. You see it already over there? Yeah? Alright. I see it, a complete first issue from A to Z, and then, handing on a cliffhanger for people to want to know more. But that will be in the next issue. But yeah, pressure. It's funny because we both have a very, we both have the most important job. Actually, that's what is fun about that project is that, and you, I guess your job is even more important because, like I said the other day, and I talk about to Matthew, yeah, last Tuesday. Like if you have a good story with illustrations, you're still gonna buy the comic book because you want, it's a fucking good story and you want to know more about it. Because you can read a story without image. It is called a novel. So if you have a little bit of image in there, it's like a comic book, and you like the story, so you keep buying the comic book. But if you have the pretty awesome image, like badass stuff, and it's empty, I don't think keep buying those comic books. So if we will be a very a great a great a great stuff, a great product, if we can have both of those things. So I'm gonna do my best to have the badass visual. So it's gonna be up to you to have a badass story. No pressure. But I know, I mean, I put a lot of pressure on my shoulder as well because, I know that I'm very used to do this kind of one picture and we're never gonna see him again. And making sure it looks good and blah blah blah. But this guy is just a profile. So when I'm gonna start, designing those characters, and I will have to know what it looks like, in front and profile, and in quick quarter, and with all the expression you have for every single character. What is the energies bring? What is his character? What his way of talking? And I mean, the way of talking will be your job actually, but yeah, it's gonna be. It's a little bit scary, I have to say, but we'll see. And the good thing is, as the project's gonna evolve, bit by bit, I'm gonna keep progressing, as you will do. So, like for the game, time will work with us. That's the plus. Because I guess I'm gonna start to work on those pages when I will feel ready for it. What's gonna be the how it's gonna dress up? Because funny enough, on comic books, heroes are always dressed the same. Issue after issue, and I'm like, are we want to do the same for our comic book, or are we want to having stuff we don't see usually on comic book that can be like, oh, all right, like, I don't know, they have a conversation, and we are we have one square with one character talking, because they are walking on the forest, and then when it's the turn of the other character to talk, we're just realizing, but just watching him, that he's peeing on a tree. That's something we never see on comic book. Heroes never pee on comic book. that it's an orc, so that can be something that they do. I don't know. Just make me laugh, because I don't think we will have some sex scene on those comic book. I'm not very at ease with that, but who knows? Maybe we'll see. But at least those little funny one square stuff can be fun to explore as well. You know what we don't see usually on comic book. To me, it is perfect. I will be preparing sample stories and ways of conversing in detail, and we can, with videos calls, edit them together. Yeah. I know, like, every time I'm thinking about having a story, I want to start the first chapter with like one page drawing, like the big one with the title of the chapter, with I don't know. I guess for that one could be a nice drone view of the village with those two. I don't know, something big, to start with. To have a nice view of something. Could be the background. It could be the landscape. It could be different stuff.
Hello, so captivant drawing. I need bouteille de water.
Okay, go. I don't think a sex scene will be needed, but if you want to add some point, maybe it can be indicated that something funny is going on behind the bush, or a character can do into building a that purpose, but illustrating the scene in a person wouldn't be that fun.
Yeah, I don't think so. As much as I don't think orcs really bother about nudity, so I don't think it will be a bad thing to have like an arse somewhere because he's doing something and I don't know, dressing himself or But sex scene, I don't think we I mean it we're gonna show what we're gonna tell. So if we don't really feel comfortable of telling a sex scene, we don't really need to show it.
Who is Emery?
Emery, c'est celui qui est en train
Yes, I
d'écrire
know.
pour Maîtres Guerriers. Ça.
Emery HF.
Je sais rien pourquoi il a mis HF. Bon, qu'est-ce que tu veux?
There is just a Hepar bottle
D'accord. Et c'est pour qui les bottles?
for me.
Mais t'as déjà une bouteille d'eau derrière, normalement. Justement, une bouteille départ qu'on a coupée exprès pour toi. Oui.
Peut-être.
Bah oui, elle est où?
In my chamber.
Bon bah c'est bedroom.
J'ai vraiment oublié.
Oh, true. They are orcs anyway. They're always half naked. Yeah. I mean, I can easily imagine, having the fat one with a view from his back because he just, wake up from his bed and he's half naked, scratching his bottom, and we see that in the first right there, and further away there is this other character like his brother coming up from the door and like, hurry up, we need to get out or something, we need to see the chief, and he's like, oh yeah I'm coming. Yeah, really. I think I'm gonna really enjoy drawing this big one because I have more and more detail coming up in my mind with your big fat hands, and it really needs to be huge. It's a huge guy. I mean, it's it's not very clever, but he's very strong, and that's why they're always together because the little one is not that strong, but he's very clever. So, by always working together, they achieve everything they need. And that can be a good thing to tell, working together is always good.
The big.
Bon, ça me fatigue. Qu'est-ce que tu veux?
La grosse bouteille est vide.
Je vais prendre une grosse bouteille. Ok, give me a sec.
Ça va? Maintenant, c'est moi qui fais le live, papa. Hein? Hello, Emery. Je faisais semblant de dessiner. Good night everybody. Et bonne nuit à Witabix. Witabix, ça va.
C'est un garçon.
C'est ma petite fille.
Non, il t'a pas traité de fille, qu'est-ce que tu dis? C'est parce que t'as des beaux cheveux longs, c'est pour ça.
Je sais même pas pourquoi on confond pas le Ming.
Ben parce qu'il est peut-être moins joli, alors
Et moi je suis beau.
comme toi t'es beau, ben on croit que t'es une fille.
Je vais fermer les volets de ce côté-là.
Ok. On est une famille de cheveux longs, qu'est-ce que tu veux, c'est comme ça.
J'ai débranché la prise du salon
Mhm.
pour que ça fasse un incendie.
Bonne idée.
Comme ça reste longtemps.
Bonne idée.
Attends.
Tu as débranché là-bas.
I'm sure the project which we are discussing right now will be great, and we can even create another one, maybe in Iridium world or in a different realm that we create, and we can tell a story of a hero. Then he can find friends, they can become a party, and their story can be told with illustration like yours. People will be crazy about it.
Yeah, I mean, we can do whatever we want. That's the beauty of it. As long as, the tricky thing will be to have stories where, you know, visual stuff, interesting visual stuff happen. You know, that have to be taken in consideration, because if we just spend like a page of dialogue, I guess that could be very, very fast, very quickly boring. So we need to have, very interesting visual as well. That has something to do with the story. If you see what I mean. Oops. I'm not in the frame anymore. I'm not on the frame. And that's why I was thinking putting that village on the northeast part of Iridium, because it's very interesting stuff over there. And we can even do like, those books that, there is those books with like 4 or 5 issue, but with the orcs, and 4 or 5 issue with the dwarves, and 4 or 5 issue with elves. We can do the same. We can, it's not, we are not stuck with, orc stories. We can even, having stories with other race, if we feel like it. Like I said, we are free to do whatever we want. We just need to have a starting point. Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, it needs to be very interesting for you to write that story, and it needs to be very interesting for me to draw it, because I know myself, and if what's going on is not very visually interesting, it could be very tricky to keep going. But I know that we can't have amazing visual all the time. Sometimes it's just casual stuff. So what would be exciting and interesting would be maybe the way to show it, and maybe not that crazy creature there, but maybe just some perspective. And look at those 2 gas globe I just drew, on the page. It just gas globes. And I just, because I don't want to draw boring stuff, I just managed to have a badass drawing about it. So I guess, that's what's gonna be the challenge. I know that like those four next squares will have like boring stuff, because it needs to be told and shown. So it's gonna be my job to make sure that looks awesome anyway. Maybe that can be because there is a great background, or maybe that, whatever. So I guess, because the trap would be to start writing something, and you'll be like, yeah, but it's gonna be boring for Alan to draw, and so I'm not gonna, I think you need to write what you want to write, and then and then we talk together about how to show it. Because like I said, there's so many way of showing something while we are telling the story. And I'm sure, month after month, we're gonna find new way of showing stuff. Interesting way of showing stuff. It's gonna be hard to invent new way of showing stuff because I'm not that experienced about comic book either, like games and comic book. So I don't know what have been done already. But at least it will be our stuff because it just came out of our minds, and we surely come up with original ideas. But like I do for every character I'm doing for the game, those guys are gonna have to be casted. So I'm probably gonna do a casting among my friends to create those guys, because I really love having strong faces, and I always drew better when it coming from somebody. This dude doesn't look like at all from the dude I use on my picture, but at least it was a starting point, and I have all the reference I need to make him look like legit. If I showing you the original picture, you're gonna be like, ah. I always like to draw from reference, and that's where I'm doing my best job. Yeah, that's really a brilliant drawing. Makes the viewer curious. What happened in the guy's fingernail? Why they are split? Why he's holding them behind his? Yeah. I mean, me. I like to tell stories as well. With just one drawing, you're just wondering a lot of stuff. The chain shot drawing is also great. The room it is in is great. Really, yeah. It is something which will improve more and more on the way. Yeah. That's for sure. And but the interesting, like we are talking about those images where I put the background just to have a background and add a little bit of something. But for our stories, even background could have important. It's very, could be very important to have them and knowing where we are, and because sometimes yeah, just exciting. Sometimes words is missing, just just energy, good energy that coming through. So yeah, the casting process will really start when when you will write, because before I draw those characters, you have to write them, and more I will know about this guy, and more I will know what it looks like. So that's gonna be your task before be mine, and then when I will know what this guy is about, I will surely see somebody that can fit the role like in a movie, because I see funny enough I see our project like a movie, you know. So I need to cast the characters, and I know those characters will be based on somebody. And it would be a an easy way of having that guy making faces, and everything we need from the front, from the back, so I can study this face again and again to to make him an orc, and draw him again and again and again. It's gonna be like a good month of that character, you know. In that room, the wall is wooden and the floor is stone. I imagine a melee fight taking there. How the environment will be affected or will affect the fight. Or if it is a ship and it got a hit, how the room will be affected. Yeah, these are really exciting things to consider. I believe discussing the environment and the character together will be a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure. And it's gonna be fun to know that every week, let's say every week, because when we're gonna start, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to think about. Every week we can take notes of what we think and talk together with those notes, and say, all right, this guy is like that, and this happening there, and yeah, but no, because this guy. Oh yeah, you're right. It's really it's gonna be. It's gonna be good. Because I know I'm very bad at finding stories, but I'm not that bad about implement them. Like as soon as you put me on the path, I'm like, kind of see what could happen. What I'm not is a very smart guy. So the problem I have is that I have a hard time to see things like a second degree things. Like I'm gonna be like up in front of what's going on and don't really see what it meant. For the I don't know how to say that, but I know sometimes I just feel dumb because I understood it, but way too late, or maybe I didn't get it at all, and so I'm not very good at this kind of stuff, but at least I have ideas about how we can show that scene and what will looks better on camera.
generally don't agree with that. Maybe it is not my place to say it, but you have a very keen mind when it comes to creativity and execution.
Yes, I think I can agree with that.
Maybe it could be that you are experienced in visual communication. That is why verbal might take longer to you to process, but that is only because you train yourself that way.
Maybe. Yeah, that will make me feel better to think that. Uh, but I guess your mind, your brain, and my brain can do great. Because I'm sure that you will ended up having this scene, but you don't really know how to put it on page, and I'm sure you will get it straight away. And sometime, maybe I will have a little bit of problem of showing what this guy is supposed to do and how he's supposed to behave, and you will tell me but because of how I write about him, he's surely is doing this and that, and that will be much more interesting to show. Because the thing is, I don't really want to be stuck about having specific direction, like this way I have to we have to put this and that, and the guy have to come from here, and that what I want is to have the story and have the freedom of drawing the squares like I see it, and at least if we have a rough sketch version of it, and we can refine it until we're both happy about it, and I can ink it as soon as it's perfect for us, and that will be interesting meeting as well, saying which could be more fun if it's he have this kind of expression because he's wondering, or yeah, and something we can do as well that is very funny, and I really like it, a little bit like a Deadpool, is like maybe we can have a character like the little one, for example, that maybe it could be the smart one, I don't know, but I would like to have one character that knows he is on the comic book, and sometimes he's just like looking at us like crazy. You know what I mean? That would be very funny to have at least one character that knows he's on the comic book out of nowhere. That could take the writers by surprise. I would love to have those kind of little stuff that is very unusual, very crazy, and in the same time we're talking about how to live in little community, and we're talking about serious stuff, and sometimes we talk about fun stuff, and sometimes it's just crazy stuff. Yeah, it's kind of always the same music we're hearing there. And I'm sure we will have like crazy ideas, like we just saw a movie that has a scene or something that could fit pretty well to our story or for our characters, and be like, this character could do this as well. It would be funny to kind of not doing the same, but I'm sure that those guys gonna involve year after years, like the Simpsons.
You have trained yourself 15 years in visual communication. It is only natural for you to lean on processing information in that way. I have done it in verbal and writing. Verbal mostly, and now educating myself in writing too. But as someone who improved myself in verbal and writing communication, your ideas and way of thinking is very special, and I am always happy when we have a chat.
Good. So we can have very interesting chat. Because I'm sure I have a way of saying it, you have your way of explaining it, and that's gonna be a great combo. So I'll be the fat ox and you'll be the little one. Okay, so now this home. What do we have here?
That is why I said about the female shaman story. When you said maybe she can be druid, I say it's all up to you, because I know you will already have a good story. And of course, you're always strong, ready to save the day with your illustration. You need to save the day with your writing as well. Don't forget about that.
Both jobs are as critical. Yeah. Yeah, it can be one of those characters that's very special because, he's a little bit toot toot and, you know. Or maybe it can be one of the heroes, the small one is so clever that, he knows that. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah. I'm sure we're gonna find a way of putting that together. But The first, I always told you that the first page I want to have a big one. Actually, I'm almost sure what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a map of Iridium with a big flag, a big Archean flag, planted, like with a like a magnifying glass showing the little village of the orcs. That could be the first picture. Maybe it's a little bit too much Asterix and Obelix, but it will give the tone and what we're aiming for. And like I say, the it could be like, or that it's obvious where we're going, and take them by surprise, because that's a good way to surprise people, is that you show them a direction and then no, we don't go there. Yeah, for example, that could be like an Easter egg instead of the obvious. That's why I said you're more clever, because instead of just showing the obvious thing, is like one first page, the map with the flag, the banner there, the Archean banner, and this little village. It can be that. It can be like. I see it with the camera. Actually, we can have like the story start to be told in squares, and then we have like an Archean how do you call that, with all the tents and everything, and then second square we go inside the tent and we see the table, and then we go over the table and we see the map. It can be something like that. Yeah, like a war game. Yeah, actually. Yeah. That can be a pretty nice introduction, actually. And having like little stone figurines, around that little village there. So we see the map, we know where they are, as straight away. It's kind of doing the same that Asterix without doing it. It's way better, actually. Or maybe not those minis as minis, but more like I was thinking more like piece of, like you can find on a chessboard, like this kind of like sample representation, like stone, gravestone, little minis, but not that detailed. Yeah, too much. You have to be like it has to look legit from the period of time, and you don't really need having like actual figurines. You just need something that represents your troops, that you push with your little stick. Yeah, we can start the story by explaining what's going on and saying that we are in the talking about the arc. And what could be fun is to make what could be interesting is that I know it's gonna we're gonna be the cover of the comic is gonna give away the surprise effect that we can make in the beginning, but what we can do is like making like it looks like it's gonna start in the Arcanian encampment, a camp, and maybe it's gonna be a story about the Arcanian, and then it's just to show the map, and no, we are going to talk about orcs. The story is gonna stories about orcs, not those guys. Those morons. But yeah, I like the introduction. And I already, just imagining those guys around the table with a huge map of Iridium with all those troops. Visually, straight away, it's very interesting. And that could be a great first page, actually. Yeah. And maybe someone can complain that it's not the first time they try, and those guys are resisting, and they don't really know how. And actually, what will be interesting as well, like we're gonna try to do in that first issue, is that alright, those guys, like in Asterix, they managed to do it because they have a magic potion. But no, that's something else. We can find a way of making them be able to defend themselves, but with something else. We're gonna like the druid is gonna everybody come together. The druid is gonna give you something, and it's not a magic potion, it's something else. Hey, you say the same thing as I write. Yeah, because we are on the same page. Okay, this hand is a tricky piece of hand. Hey, true. I made some
research about the magic potion, and if it could be too close to copywriting, I will share them with you in the next video call.
I don't think, what is more interesting, I guess, is to take the reader by surprise all the time. And when they think they knows what's gonna happen, that's not what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So I guess making them think that they are reading a remake of Asterix and Obelix, they are tricked already, because that's not what we're gonna tell. And that's where we can have some fun with like this guy, the guy with the stripe, blue and white striped trouser, that the fat one say that looks ridiculous, I will never wear that. You only can get that if at the first in right away you thought you were in an Asterix and Obelix comic book. Otherwise it doesn't work, and but in the same time I really like the idea of the shaman saying to the fat one that he can't have the potion because the cauldron fell on him when he was little. Or maybe it can be that they are that different, because when he was small and the shaman was preparing a potion, a cauldron fall on him without being the potion of the village. It can be that when he was small the shaman was preparing a potion and the cauldron fall on him, and it made an very weird reaction that make him very different from his brother, even though they were twins, and make him very strong without being this potion that they distribute to everybody. So now what we're gonna have to find is why this village is resisting. How is troops after troops, how they resist to the arcane if they don't have all the village don't have a magic potion. I was thinking about maybe it can be like something that make them go berserk when they have it for like an half hour or something, and all those nice guys that we started to get used to, that very nice orcs. How can we have this image about orcs when you see them in their village? They are like us, and then arcanes come along, and I don't know, they have like a magic collar around their neck, and their eyes get red, and they get like crazy, and they burst into the door and destroy everything, until the spell is just finished, That could be something. That's why they're resisting, because the shaman knows like a spell or something that make everybody berserk for like a little bit of time, and even then don't really knows what's going on, because like they're like that's where they really look like orcs. Yeah, we need to find something clever to make the writer think that, all right, that's the moment. That's where they're gonna have a queue and they're gonna take their potion. You know what we could be? That could be fun. I'm just gonna tell you before I read that because it just crossed my mind. They're starting the queue in front of the cauldron, so everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's like in the And then the shaman is saying, "Not that cauldron. That's the super for this evening. This cauldron, this queue here, like for the for the enchanting spell or something, or a word maybe something that Arcane say triggered them and they go berserk and they wait for that words to be said to piss them, but then it will raise the question why their big one is already strong and they will be dependent on Arcane to say it. Attends. I think the big one is always strong because the cauldron fell on him when he was small. That we can keep, and that made this magic reaction that make it strong, and it doesn't really need anything to get strong. That could be it. Is he get berserk like the other guys? I don't know. Yeah, I think it would be fine to explain how he get so different from his brother, and it could be simple as a conversation between the dad and the shaman, and like the shaman saying it's like when that time where the cauldron fell on him and in that scene, if he drinks the potion, he would. Yeah, explanation can be done with one dialogue box. Yeah, I mean, as easy as that. But yeah, we really need to think about, and it needs to be interesting visually as well, because this one word, that trick. I feel like they need to be ready. I imagine them a little bit like in the cartoon, in the movies, to having those doors. Like I seeing the Arcane from the back, and having the big doors with all those trunk, the entrance of the village. And then the door just burst out and they all get getting out, and they wants to be the first to be in the battle. So when they get out, they're already berserked, they're already crazy. Just an idea. It's just the way I see it. Or maybe it can be as well that they have like a stone around their neck that calm them down, for every day. that's why they are like kind of different orcs from the other, because they are more calm. They don't have that rage that characteristic the other orcs. It's because of that that chain, that stone they have around their neck. And maybe when the Archaeans are coming, that's where the shaman asked them to take out the stones, and all this rage is coming back all of a sudden because the stone is not there yet, is not there anymore to calm them down. And then after the rush, they just we have to manage to make them take back their stone around their neck and calm down and be like nothing happened. Yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna do, until we have news from Sebastian, and it will be less frustrating for us. We can concentrate on finding ideas, because I can work on what I need to work for Maîtres Warriors, and talking with you with ideas about how stuff is gonna work, because even before writing a story, we need to know how it works, this kind of ideas. And that's gonna end it up with very nice conversation. Very funny. Very funny stuff. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like, if we do that, we will be less. But I know you don't seem to be frustrated by, the weight. But in my part, in a way, I don't care, because, we have this project to talk about. But yeah, more I think about it, more I like the idea of having those orcs with a special stone around their neck in the end of a rope that just suck up all the rage that usually orcs have and make them live in peace, which doesn't really erase the fight that there is sometimes, but that could explain why they are so different from other orcs. And I can imagine, as the big one is very strong, it could be the one that just give some smack when it's all done, and put back the collar around their necks, and so they can go home calmly. It's almost his job in the end of a battle to put back the necklace around every orcs, because he's that strong. And the fun thing is that we don't really need to show that, a lot of time. We just need to have. It could be the first issue. How they resist to the Archaean, and we show how, and then we don't need to show that anymore, because now we know. And instead of, every time after that, in adventures, instead of having, the little one that take his magic potion to get strong, we just see him take out his necklace and get berserk, and then, just the fat one, because that's kind of why as well they are together, because the fat one can just pick him up and just putting back the necklace around his neck, and the other one just calm down. That could be something. Maybe it's because I recently joined the project. You have been in it for 3 years, or maybe it is an element thing. Denise is the same way like you. That fire is burning. She's waiting Sebastian's reply to me. And I'm more earthy seeing Sebastian's point of view, but Denise and yours too. It, in that sense, focusing on a sister project will wait. While waiting make the most sense. Yeah. I think so, and I really like this, process of thinking how to make it works actually. Because as soon as you feel, the butterfly on your stomach, you know that you have something there, and yeah. I mean, think about this stone idea, and tell me what you think, because I feel like it could be it, and we can do that scene where the shaman is asking everybody to be in a line, and everybody's aligned in front of that cauldron, and like, that's not the right time, what you're talking about, it's took a line to take off this, or something like that. I don't know. I really like the idea of making the readers think that they are taking a line, a cue. They are queuing for the cauldron and the magic potion layer, like in Asterix, and not at all. That's for super. That's for that's for the next meal. That's not the magic potion. This is nothing to do with the magic potion. Oh, this hand looks weird. And we're gonna have to do something with the Bork as well, because is it Bork? That's it? The big pig? Because I know, funny enough, the Borks are very important for the orcs, because that's what they ride. And Obelix love to eat Borks, which will not be the case for the big orcs. So that's gonna be fun as well to do something with that, We need to find a situation where, usually in that circumstances, Obelix will want to eat that ball, but that's not for that. We need them. Wargs? No. Attends, let me find the right word.
Sanglier. Comment tu dis sanglier? Attends. Where is the thing I'm looking for? Là. Sanglier.
Boar. Yeah, boar. Boar. That's what, Obelix like to eat most of the time. And funny enough, in war games, that's what orcs are riding. Those things. Don't know where you're gonna see it better, but no, you don't really see it very well. Yeah, they're mounted wargs only in the movies of Peter Jackson, but yeah, wild boar. That's what they use. I mean, they have giants one, special, raised by them, and we can do a little scene with that because as Obelix really love to eat them. We can have a scene where the fat one wants a boar, and the little one could say, "What, for eating?" And I was like, "What are you saying? It's just stupid not to ride because I'm tired." Just some little, a little square dialogue, just to make people like. I was, I'm imagining like is like very starting to be tired and like, oh yeah, I really need a boar. And oh, what, are you hungry? What are you talking about? To ride it? C'est le matin. Salut, salut. Oh, come on. The 7th month. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Very good, yeah. Yeah, we can do that as well. I mean, but those jokes are only working if we are, in the Asterix and Obelix spirit for the first issue, and those jokes are gonna go in the trash for we do other jokes for other issues. Bristouf, salut. Yeah. On discute de notre futur BD. Oh, ça c'est très bizarre comme... Cette main est pas jolie. Je dirais même elle est très très moche. It will be fun too to think of it. Yeah, I mean, just those ideas coming up is already fun. So I guess the reader will have fun to read about those jokes. yeah. I'm just picturing the big one saying that, why do you, how can you imagine I want to eat one? And the little one saying that, I don't know, I can imagine you eating one whole in one spin, like, because usually when we see Obelix eating a ball, it's very fast and just one bone left. Yeah, this hand is seriously fucked up. Alright, so what's gonna be the solution there? What if I think the thumb is too big anyway? And we can have this thumb is too short now. What the fuck? On most of the cover drawings, Obelix is carrying a giant stone that can be walked around, but maybe, in a scene or two, orcs can carry something different, a wagon maybe, but carrying it in the same way. Yeah, maybe. I was a little bit hesitant to make him carry something because in my mind, all the students, it's too obvious. You know what I mean? I really want to make sure that it's not, now maybe just for one square, just, like a, yeah, we can play with that idea as well. Just for 1 minute. Is carrying it the wrong way and is in exactly the same position than Obelix is. And realizing, it's not the right way to hold it, and hold it differently after that. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to avoid the obvious, but play with it, Play with what the reader will expect in that situation and make them believe that's what's gonna happen, and doing something completely different. Take them by surprise all the time. And that could be what is interesting about, the first issue. But the risk that we will is that that what could happen is that maybe if we change too much the direction, what they liked about the first issue could be lost. So that's gonna be tricky to stay in the mind of what we want, and in the same time, they can even be on the first edition, on the first and third, then not mention them again. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that could be that could be actually that. What can be fun is that we talk about those guys for 1, 2, or 3 issues, and that's not even the heroes of our story. It could be another orcs in the village that gonna be, I don't know, kicked out or something, or wants to prove himself and leave the village, and that's the guy that we're gonna follow. And that's the guy we was in the background for like 3 issues, and we talk about him a little bit, and what gives me that idea is, I don't know if you saw the new Suicide Squad. And in Suicide Squad, in the new one, we have a team. We see the team. They build up the team and they go on a mission, and they're all being killed, except like the crazy girl. What's the name? I don't remember. And then they're all being killed, unexpectedly, and then we see the real team coming up, in the other side of the island, and you're like, all right, so we spend like 5 minutes, even 15 minutes building up this team, and it's not even the team of the movie. But I really like this, being taken by surprise. So yeah, we can do that. We can play around with the Asterix and Obelix idea, and then leave it, like you said, so we don't have the problem of repeating them ourselves, and leave it and take the route with another character. Yeah, and maybe it's because of those 2 orcs that give him the ambition of being a hero as well. But I guess he's really a small orc, and he needs a lot of adventure to become a great orc, and coming back to his village, and show everybody that he's the guy. It is a great idea. That will enable the series to have a limitless stories. That will enable the series to have limitless stories. I don't get that sentence. And that will enable the series to have limitless stories. Oh yeah, I get it. Okay, I get it. Ooh, what time is it? It's midnight, past midnight. Okay, that's right. Yeah. And it's especially, because if we play around with Asterix and Obelix, and they like it, it's gonna be weird to all the students change the tone of this story. Instead, it's way more interesting to keep going the story, but not with those heroes. Those heroes are, Oh, and you know what we can do? Another, taking the rider by surprise is that this little dude needs to go on the quest, and the chief, asked the two heroes to, go with him, like we see in Asterix and Obelix, and because they are the heroes of our story, and they both like, no, we're gonna stay there. Go yourself. And we're gonna have to follow this poor little guy that's gonna, went for great adventures by himself, because nobody wants to go there with him. Or maybe we can give him a little boar, so it will become those two characters. Like Lucky Luke and his horse. We can give him a boar so he can travel with his animal. Oh yeah, I like what we are talking about already. We don't even start it. I mean, I guess we started, but just that already, and it's fun already. And we have like a timeline building up. So the way I see it, the way I see it, just one issue with those Asterix and Obelix will be enough to make people think that those guys are going to be the heroes, and in fact no. Yeah, exactly. And this first issue is going to be very interesting because it's going to show how orcs live, and indirectly, I guess, going to show why our real hero, that at least the hero of our story, behaved the way he behaved, because we saw him in his village, this young orc. Or maybe it can be like a very skinny orc, or something that make him an outsider, and make him wish to prove himself, to prove to everybody that he can do it as well. He can be a hero. That's why he wants to leave the village. And we are we're gonna show that, because this guy is gonna be seen from the, here and there, and maybe being laughed at in some situation. And it could be a great starting point. And it's fun to think that all this story is just about it. In the end, I mean, we're gonna have a little story, but in the end, the real story is about why our heroes left the village. That could be the last image of the first issue is this hero getting out by himself with this little boar of the village, and now we want to know so what's gonna happen to this guy, and we can start over with brand new a brand new story with a brand new hero, and keep going like that. And maybe we can, like we say, we can do one issue with this guy and leave it like that, and more than 22 since I've been there and been here. Very true. Give get curiosity. What are you talking about, Stick? Yeah, so yeah, like I said, we can have a story with this guy and then leave it like that, and start another story with something completely different. That maybe those two stories gonna join together in the next issue, and you know, I mean, yeah, like exactly in like Maîtres Guerriers, you know, franchise. We can play around and see what people like and don't like. 20 months, 22 months. Yeah, I mean, when I say thank you to be there, I mean thank you to for being to like how do you call that? Ton abonnement. Merci pour ton abonnement. 7 mois. 7 mois d'abonnement. Anyway. Okay. Okay, we have the guy. We have the Bolas. Bolas. Oh, that's a really English thing. Yeah, stop to count that. This is silly. There's no need to count how many times I say cause I can say I can't say more. Comment va l'ami? Comment va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? T'es arrivé à la fin de mon stream ce soir. Tu veux dire que t'as une vie toi aussi? Tired? Yeah, I had a very hard time today. Emery made me forget about it. That's great. You play Star Wars? Oh yeah, that's very tiring. I did some gardening and I've been pissed off more than once with my kids. The clowns. Oh, what's that? Oops. Oh. Okay. I'm not even looking at that. I was not even aware that they were debating. A bunch of liars debating together. What a funny show. it's trying to show which one will be the less worse. Hopefully we'll have the privilege and the house soon. I wish you have a place where you can build your heaven. We found ours and we're really happy to be there. I wish you the same. Too bad I can't show you because you're not on Facebook yet, so I can't show you my little place. Okay, so we have our Bolas. Yeah, I know I didn't miss anything. What I don't like is that, friends are starting to piss me off by telling me that you have to vote, because if you don't vote for this, it means you let the other one, pass and blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm not even know which one I don't want to vote against. Usually, at least we vote against somebody. But right now, I'm not even knowing which one is the one I want to vote against. Because both are. Whatever the issue is, I won't be happy about it. So what's the point? That's the situation. And I can't even believe that everybody is, starting to considering. But, yeah. Anyway. Gardening. And ask you for expertise, and you are always welcome to, of course. Of course, yeah. If we go to Prague, I guess. But I'm not an expert of gardening at all. I'm learning, so I'm not sure I can teach you anything. I'm just starting by trying to grow potatoes. Could say I start by the easiest, but so far I'm not very good at it. And this year I'm trying tomatoes as well, so we'll see. But I need to build a greenhouse so they can grow in a warm environment. But those things take time to build. So what are we gonna have for the background? I wonder, but it's not for this evening because it's time already. Unfortunately, I need to wake up pretty early tomorrow. Because my wife is working. She's not on holidays. Potatoes are the best. I can learn it from you. It's better the people like that than the beautiful people you see everywhere. It is a brilliant illusion, giving people a power to choose but provide the party which they need to choose from. Oh la la. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make those lines thicker, and that will be it for this evening. Yeah, it's too sad that you know we've been divided enough with this COVID issue. I lost friends and everything because I was not thinking like they are, and now it keeps going. Now this campaign, this big joke, keep dividing friends. That's really sad. It's not like they're not taking like me. They just have different point of view, and I know I don't stay attached to the people that pull me to the bottom of things, but sometimes it's just a different point of view, and we both right. It's just that depending of how you see things, and you can't force somebody to see things the way you see it, and doesn't mean we can't be friends. It just means we don't see the world in the same way. But when somebody just don't want to talk to you anymore because you don't think like they do, you don't have a choice. Okay, goodbye. I won't lost anything, because if you're stupid enough to stop talking to me, yeah, we don't have we don't have anything to do together. It is the mask of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Yeah, sometimes you need to bear a little bit more with the people who are in their path to improve themselves. Yeah, yeah. All right. So, guys, thank you for coming. Emery, thank you for bringing this light in my evening. I'm very glad I decided to stream anyway, so we can have those conversation. Stig, thank you for coming as well. And I will see you tomorrow, because tomorrow we are Thursday, and it's painting day, so we're gonna paint some minis, some orcs. So see you soon. Have a good night. Big kiss to Andobaka and Denise, of course. And yeah, sleep tight and good night. Bye.